Well, howdy everybody and welcome to my little cheesy video. I'm your host, Jack. Let's say it all together. Jack of VintageElectronicsGeek.com. Hey, look, it's been a while since I have posted a video. My central air conditioning went out, albeit it was a nice, comfortable 105 outside. It was even a more relaxing, paradise-like conditions indoors, 95 degrees in my office. So I opted not to record videos and have tons of fan noise going in the background. You should thank me for saving you. You could say your thanks in green is what I'm thinking. So this is my next video. I know that I have other videos I need to do. You're probably expecting to see more test gear, and that's going to come up hopefully after this video. We'll move forward with that, be done with those test videos, be done with those test gears, and move on to some actual wrenching or destroying or whatever I could do. What you're looking at is a set of cameras that were sent to me by Stan from the Open Air Garage. Stan was super duper cool at doing so. He knew that I am the undisputed camera king or camera geek. I don't know which, but he knew I was some kind of a geek. How's that? Contacted me, said, hey, I got something you might be interested in, and so he shipped them to me. Unfortunately, the post office sucks. That's all I could say. They sent it to the wrong house, and for 2 weeks, I fought and I fought and I fought. Finally got them to get off their lazy rump roast and go find my package. Luckily, they found it unmolested, unopened, untouched, and I was rather excited. I thought it was lost. So from now on, everything is going to be signature required. Plain and simple. So what did Stan send me? Well, let me show you, let me tell you what he sent me. I got two Kodaks. The first one is this camera right here. Let me bring the camera in just a little closer so we could all see it. This first camera is a Kodak Jiffy VP. I already have one of these in my collection, and I can't remember if I got film in it now that I'm thinking about it. This is a folder. Boys and girls, this is what cameras used to be like before you had point and shoots. Before you had something like that, or even that, or even older, that. By the way, is one of my latest acquisitions. I told you I'm the camera geek king thing. This is it. Back in the day, there was all kinds of films that you could stick into your camera. This took size 127. This is how you frame your shot. Your two little feetsies is how you focused. So just like a gun turret, you look through there and you aim. Focus. Like I said, your feet. Good luck. All right, you're saying, so what, how, what? Well, first of all, it's not going to work like this. You have to open this up. You ready for this? You push this little magic button right here. Blammo. And that pops up. And it's because of that action we call them a folder. Because when you close it, you're folding it. Ain't that exciting? You can tell this hasn't been used much. As you saw, it just sprung up the second time pretty fast. I've already shot this video once, but it was over 35 minutes long, and I said, hey, dude, retarded, reshoot. So I apologize I don't have a box opening or anything like that. If I was thinking, I wouldn't have deleted them. Deleted the first set, but I did. So, imagination time. So this is nickel plated right here. You have your lever right here, your shutter lever. And that's how you take the picture. You use this knob right here to advance. We're going to open up this in just a moment. You have this little slide out lever, and that's for bulb. There's only one shutter speed on this, I don't remember. I'll look it up in post, but I think it's something like 1/500th of a second or thereabout. Could even be a little lower to 1/320th, but I think it's around 1/500th of a second, which is a half a second. So maybe that's a little too fast or too long, maybe or too slow. I'll get that right. So maybe it's around 1/60th of a second now that I'm thinking about it. Again, I'll show that in post. This little lever requires a tool because it hasn't been pulled out in a while, except for the first time I did it. There we go. And this lever controls the bulb setting. No, it don't. The little one controls the bulb, and what bulb means is when you push the button, it takes a picture just that fast, about 1/60th of a second or thereabout. However, when you pull, and if you see, that's sticky, you're going to have to work that. So look in there, look at the shutter, you'll see it trip. You see that? And as long as I hold that lever, you got that little window, that little protection window there, allowing no light to come in and continue on exposing. So now if I take this little lever and pull that out, again, for bulb, watch it now. Oops, stupid. See that? Stays open. Shutters look like they might be a little sticky. They don't look completely open, but they could be. So as long as I hold that button down, that shutter stays open, allowing light, which is great for astrophotography or any low light situation. But you really have to know what you're doing in order to get a proper exposure, because it could be under, it could be over. And then you got to know how to properly expose your film, or tell the guy at the development house what you did, and that way they know how to develop it for you. Second lever controls your aperture. I think this is f8 by default and f11 on the second one. And basically what that means is it tells how much light comes into your camera. So a little bit or a lot. And not only that, f8, f11 is going to allow a lot of things far and near to be in focus. It's fantastic for cameras like this where you have to use your feet to focus. Alright, so that's what that's all about. There is no spot on here to hook up a shutter trip cable, nor is there any place for a flash. To open it up, you take this lever right here and you slide it towards open, at which time you can now pop that off and the whole cover opens up. This little window here is how you tell what film frame you're on. When you spool your film, you have spools, a take-up, and the actual film. And this is the take-up, and it'll go across here, and in here it'll tell you what number of frame you're on. These generally do not have that many frames, 6 frames, 8 frames, something like that, not that many. And so it go across there. So when you have this open, it looks like that. And as stated, this bellows does have some tears and pinhole, so either try to repair it or just simply replace it and put new on there. Sticker here tells you what size film you put in, or the camera uses, which is size 127. And as you can see down here, it has had some damage, broke, and it's been replaced. This is not Bakelite, this is actually plastic. However, the body very well could be Bakelite. It's nice and heavy. So put that on and close it. Fantastic. Second item up is this film camera made by Keystone. This is a model number K48. This is a 8mm film camera. You could run 12, 16, 24, and 48 frames per second through this. So you could have really slow, jerky, vintage kind of look to a faster look. Now, I will confirm that that is indeed what that is, but I do believe that's what it is. I don't have a camera like this in my collection, so this is new to me. On top here we have a light meter, and the light meter is dead. And that's very common in meters like this on any of your vintage film or still cameras. If you have a camera that has a light meter, your best bet, or even old light meters that have a selenium kind of meter, is you keep them in the dark. Less light, the longevity that these cameras are going to have. Even your Japanese cameras up through the 70s will have a light meter. Might not look like this. It's going through the lens, but you definitely want to keep them blacked out while not in use. We got 3 lenses. One's missing. And this is how you change from your wide to medium to telephoto. And you should be able to also swap these out for different types of lenses. Now this one here is a little wobbly, so I'll have to tear it apart and see if I could tighten that back up. In my first try, I was unable to open this, and I still am unable to open this. So we have a lever here that when you wind it up, takes no batteries, and then you hit run. Of course, I had it on run already. And that's the theory behind it. But apparently it's not working. So I could hear it moving inside, but not able to get it to work. This camera, I don't have this specific camera in my collection. I do have one similar to it. Mine actually takes a flash. This one does not take a flash. This is a Kodak Brownie. Brownie is what pretty much put Kodak and cameras on the map. I believe this one has film in it because that window is blocked. Without film, it shouldn't be blocked. And this lever is how you take exposure. So, focus on this, again, is with your feet. This is a TLR called Twin Lens Reflex. And it's twin lens because you have one lens here, 2 lenses there. What happens for viewing through the viewfinder, you look through this piece, it goes down, hits a mirror, comes out, and looks through this piece. Now these are plastic, and just like glass, they do mold up and go bad. I've already looked in here, it's not pitted, it looks good. It will need to be cleaned. I will tear it apart at a later time and clean it. We have a lever right here which unlatches the body to open it up so you could spool your film. This lever, I'm really not sure at this moment what it does. It does seem to be frozen or locked. I will have to try. So what happens if I push the button? Well, I just took a picture. Now if there's already film in here, I just did a double exposure. Let's turn this wheel. Let's see if anything happens. See if I feel anything. And I feel it going one way, backwards. I should be going this way, but that's not happening. So I guess let's find out if it's got film. So I push that lever, and yes, it does. It has film. So close that back up. I will dork with this and see if I can get that to break free. I don't want to unspool the entire roll. And at a later time, if I can get it to break free, then I'll take it in and have it exposed and see what's on it, if anything. Anyway, this video has gone on a little longer than anticipated. The case for this camera, that camera was stuck in here. The case is rock hard. I will need to treat it, and hopefully that'll break it up some, loosen it up. This is something that very rarely is on these cameras. These generally break off along with the flap. So, very cool, Stan. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks again. We'll catch you in the next one when I have probably test gear to work on and more junk afterwards. Catch you guys later. Thanks. See ya.